Hey everyone, and welcome to the NintendoFuse Podcast. This is episode 190, entitled Pokemon and Smash DLC, because we got both of it coming at you this week. My name is Steve. I'm here hosting tonight again, but I am for certain not alone. I am joined by Sir Gregory. How you doing, Greg?
Good. How's it going?
Good.
I bet it was a little bit later than normal because Barry would love to be here.
It is, yeah. So unfortunately, Barry couldn't join us. Had some things going on with me, and we decided in the end it was better to push it back and still do it than not do it, than to cut it out altogether or whatever. So we are coming at you a little later than normal on Tuesday. So thanks for staying up late with us, those of you guys that are tuning in live. But if you're watching it after the fact or listening after the fact, it's really probably not much different for you. So no big deal. But thank you for all of you guys that do tune in live every other week with us as we record these things live. We love having you guys join in the chat, just talk about all the stuff that we're talking about and throw in your thoughts and comments and everything in there. And if you do watch this after the fact, and let's say, even 2-3 weeks later, or maybe 2 years later, who knows, and you're like, oh, I got some thoughts about that, throw that into the comment section here on YouTube. And or if you're, you don't watch on YouTube, you listen to the audio version or whatever, we would love to have you guys all join our Discord channel, our server, and you can chat about all that stuff that we're talking about there. Follow us on social media. It would just be awesome for you guys to join us in between the shows and just keep this conversation up, because we love talking games with you guys. We love talking, to each other about this. I enjoy Greg and Barry's conversation, but I also enjoy that conversation getting even wider, having you guys jump in. So, yeah. All right, so Basement Dweller Games says hi, hello. And throughout the show, as normal, we'll kind of refer to you guys what you're talking about in the chat and everything as much as we can as well. So yeah, the chat room will kind of be the third podcast host for tonight. It'll be kind of replacing Barry. So do your job, chat. You got a lot to hold up to.
Yeah, so make sure to remind everybody to buy physical and
yeah, that's right.
hate on the digital stuff.
It's the last time Barry leaves all the podcast to us. He's gonna be like, "What did you tell people? You said down with physical and only go digital. What is wrong with you?" All right. Well, Greg, as normal, we're going to start with just a chat about what we've been playing lately. And so what have you been up to in terms of your gaming over the last couple weeks?
Well, I'm very slowly pumping away at Luigi's Mansion 3. Got another few hours in and rescued some more elevator buttons, so it's slow but surely I'm going through it. So it's been a lot of fun so far, and definitely wish I could have had a room for a game of the year for that, but obviously it's kind of beyond that, and so yeah, that's pretty much the main part on Switch. Still tuning in with Dr. Mario World and Fire Emblem Heroes every day, checking out events and completing all that stuff as well. So that about wraps it up for me in that department.
Well, all right. Both of us have been playing pretty much like one or two games the last couple weeks. I don't know about Barry. I feel like he's probably in the same boat. He's probably chipping away at some of those RPGs and stuff. Other than Rocket League, I've spent a lot of time in Rocket League over the last few weeks, really trying to up my game actually in it. And so I've started watch a lot more tutorials online, trying to get myself to that next level, because I'm pretty much consistently hitting gold status, gold rank. But I really would love to get up to diamond, and eventually it'd be really cool if I could make a run to grand champion, but I don't know, that seems like way beyond my reach right now. But I'd love to be able to get to that consistently hit diamond rank in each season. But gold is pretty much standard for me the last couple seasons, which is cool, because I feel like when I started out I was barely getting bronze which is really fairly easy to get, but now it's cool that I can get gold. But I'd love to be able to get better. So I've been focusing a lot on doing the training sessions and stuff like that, and watching a lot of other experts within Rocket League and showing me how to like improve my aerial game and stuff like that. So anticipation is like one of the big things that I'm trying to work on right now in the game, is like how to anticipate where the ball is going to go, and anticipate what my opponents are going to do and what my teammates are going to do. And I've realized it's incredibly difficult when you just have a random teammate online. You have no idea how good they are. Like, I don't know if they're actually going to get that ball or not. Can I guarantee they're going to pass me the ball? Probably not. If I pass them, are they actually going to take the shot, or are they going to whiff it? And yeah, who knows? So I have a friend that I need to talk to, because he actually plays for his college on his other Rocket League team, and I need to talk to him and see if he can carry me for a little bit. Like, hey, let me play with you so you can help me increase my rank. I also played through Ori and the Blind Forest. Let me get that right. The definitive edition, the demo. So I played all throughout the demo and really liked that game. Like, it may be one of the next games that I'll be downloading for my Switch, like the full game. Have you played Ori at all?
No, not at all.
So I'd recommend the demo, because it's free, and it's a good. I mean, it's not like the 8-hour demo of Dragon Quest, but I think I got a good solid like 30-45 minutes or something like that, maybe, in of it, and it's a really pretty game, and it's the audio and the music and everything is really cool too, and yeah, it's a platformer, so it also has a little bit of Metroidvania kind of stuff. I feel like the demo didn't get into it enough for me to like fully experience that, but I could tell what was going on. I was like, there were certain spots that I couldn't get to yet. I was like, oh, I bet if I get certain things later, then I can come back to those certain areas and stuff. So yeah, I'd recommend checking it out, Greg, because I know you like those kind of games.
Yeah, I do like platformers and definitely like the Metroidvania games. So that sounds just like Hollow Knight, which I absolutely love. That was
Yeah.
favorite indie games.
Yeah, that was on sale not too long ago, right? Or maybe it might still be on sale, I think.
Yeah, I think it definitely was for like the holiday or New Year's or something, or maybe right now. I don't know, but
Yeah. Actually, I remember it might have been within the last week or so. I think I noticed it was on sale, and I was really tempted to get it, because I know you really liked it a lot, and I was like, oh, that could be good. But the ever growing backlog of games that I do have downloaded was still looming over me. I'm like, yeah, I probably shouldn't go get another one to add to the list. So. But all right, so let's move into some news. And again, as we talk about this stuff, we'd love for you guys to chat about that in the chat room, but also throw your comments down below later and after the fact. First of all, we found out the top 20 best-selling games of the decade, and VentureBeat had this information. I'm going to see if I can pull it up here for you guys that are watching on YouTube, and you can kind of look through the list with us. But over the last 10 years, they have the best-selling games of the last 10 years. And I don't know about you, Greg, but when I looked over this list, two big things stood out to me. An overwhelming abundance of FPS games on there, and a very small number of Nintendo games. So we have like Grand Theft Autos. We have pretty much every Call of Duty that's coming out over the last 10 years is on this list. And low down on the list, I believe we have games like Minecraft that are also present on there, and some of those Call of Duty games were on Nintendo systems. But the only two like Nintendo only games on there are Mario Kart 8 and The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, I believe. So, Greg, what do you think about this list when you looked it over?
well, I mean, unfortunately for Nintendo, their games are only on their platform for the most part. So it is pretty neat that at least The Legend of Zelda like actually was able to crack the list. I mean, that game was only out for like 3 years even, and it still managed to like hit this list. So that's still pretty impressive for just like a Nintendo exclusive hardware. I know it's on Wii U as well, but I think can safely say the bulk of the sales were on Switch. So
Yeah. That's a good point. When I was looking at this list, that thought didn't come to my head, and that's good you brought that up because I some of these games have only been out for just a couple of years compared to some of them that have been out probably came out in 2010 that have had the entire time to continue to build and sell more and more and more. So that's interesting. And then we also they showed off the top 20 games from the previous decade as well. And as I was looking over that, it's a very different list, isn't it, Greg?
Yeah.
Everything is so different from the last decade versus the decade before that. I mean, we're seeing things like Guitar Hero. Wii Fit is number 2. A bunch of Wii games, a bunch of Nintendo stuff, a bunch of casual games. I mean, instead of FPSs, there's a bunch of music stuff on there. And then you see all the Maddens, the games on there. There's 06, 07, 08 all on there. So sports, music, and just casual Wii games kind of dominated the list in the previous decade. That's kind of crazy. What do you think about that difference between those two?
It is definitely like quite a different like landscape. So it's like you'd really, I mean, Call of Duty had been around that first like decade, I thought, right? Maybe it just wasn't as popular.
Yeah, I mean, we got looks like Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2 are on the list, but that's it. That's like all. Oh wait, World at War is on the list as well. So there are some FPSs on there. I mean, you have your Halo 3 and your Halo 2 and stuff, but it seems like the games were more varied, I guess, in that previous decade.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely noticed that, and that was kind of very intriguing. I mean, I was really surprised to see like Wii Fit so high up there, though. I mean, I know the Wii was popular, but I didn't know Wii Fit was that much larger.
Yeah, and we play. I mean, part of it because you got a free remote with it, but coming in at 4, Guitar Hero 3 doesn't surprise me. That game was great, and like I feel like everybody and their cousin had Guitar Hero 3, and from it topping the list, that seems to prove it. but then this last decade, I don't think no music games or rhythm games on there at all. That was definitely a fad that kind of faded away.
Yeah, I think like even like Guitar Hero 2 really got those like games like kickstarted. That was like where it really like made it like a brand name, and then like that's where the third and even the fourth one are on the list, where it's you can tell that's where it's definitely been like hardened in, and they knew what they were doing at that point before they made way too many of them. So.
Yeah. So as you look over the list of the 2010 to 2019, how many of those games have you actually played? Because I'm thinking I've played probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think 6 of them. So apparently I'm really missing out. I've not given them all my money like everybody else has, I guess.
Well, yeah, especially the ones from this most recent decade. I think I've only played like 3 of them, and that's like Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8, and Skyrim.
Nice.
The rest of them I've never even played because I've never had a 360, Xbox One, or PlayStation 3 or 4 to even be able to play those.
Yeah.
That greatly limits me, at least in that regard.
Yeah. I think the only Call of Duty game I've ever owned is Ghosts, and I got that on Wii U actually. It was a good game. I like the single player. I didn't play any of the multiplayer at all. But I don't play any multiplayer of Call of Duty games anymore because I die a whole lot from like 10-year-old kids that know the game a whole lot better than I do. So
yeah,
I've
that was
written
my
off.
experience, and that's kind of why I kind of fell off the first-person shooter train. Because it was like, like I think I'm like really good, but I'm really not. And that's really heartbreaking just to like not get anywhere close to winning like so many times in a row. Then it's like, yeah, I guess I'll just hang in the towel here. I'm never gonna be as good as people that can spend a lot more time at it than me.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, go ahead.
I was going through the first list, the 2000, 2009. I think it's only about 6 games that I played in that list. So.
Oh, really? Yeah, I think.
Played the Guitar Hero games. We Fit, We Play, Mario Kart Wii, and Vice City I had on the PC, and I really liked that one. I'm sure I probably played like Halo 2 or 3 at like roommates' places, but that was about it. I never can't say I've owned them though.
Yeah. Yeah, I have either owned or played a good chunk of probably 11 or 12 of those. So, and the top 5 I owned. So, which is very different than the last decade. So,
Yeah, I never got into Rock Band, so I never played either of those. I didn't want a second set of plastic instruments.
yeah, that was a pain. It was nice when they started allowing them to intermingle, play nice together. That was a nice move. And then they stopped again, and they started developing their own guitars again. I'm like, what are you doing? But that was their swan song anyhow. So. All right. Well, that's interesting. I wonder what the next 10 years of games are going to look like. It's interesting to me that games like that I think that most people play are not on that list. Games like Fortnite, for instance, because they're free. They're free to download, free to play, and so you don't see those kind of games topping the list because like everybody plays it, but you don't buy it. So that's not a best-selling game. And I wonder if we're going to see more of that in this next year because it seems like there are a lot more free-to-play games coming out that then get you with microtransactions or whatever afterward to keep the money coming, but you get to play the game itself for free. So this could change the landscape, I wonder, of our list from like 2020 to 2029.
Yeah, that'd certainly be interesting, and be obviously interesting to see what kind of games from Switch or the Switch successor land on the list as well.
Yeah, for sure. Go to the chat. Omar, hey guys, welcome, Omar. And Basement Dweller says they've never played any of the Call of Duty games. With those sales, it's no wonder they're near yearly releases, and that's true. They know they are cash cows, so they just keep popping them out because they will sell, even if they're not that great. They'll keep selling over and over and over again. Oh, man. All right, so let's see. I think it was back on January 9th. What was that, like a couple days after our last podcast? Nintendo went live with a little Pokémon Direct. And this made Greg incredibly excited because he's a huge Pokemon fan, as all the podcast listeners know. Yeah.
They say that, yeah.
Yeah.
I still have to fire up Sword, but I think I was waiting to do like Luigi's Mansion 3 before diving into it, I think.
Cool. Well, Greg, you haven't even started Sword, or have you started it, or
no, I didn't even.
You haven't even started. You haven't started, but we got even more game coming for you. So you're gonna get. There's even more coming. So we found out that both Sword and Shield are gonna get expansion passes. And included in those expansion passes are 2 different areas that you're going to be able to play in. And the expansion pass is you can buy the whole thing for $29.99. If you pre-purchase the pass, you can actually get a special edition clothing for your game right now. And so both editions have their own expansion pass. Both are the same, but they offer a slightly different experience in both games. So the Sword expansion pass will still have the same both areas, and the Shield expansion pass will have those same areas, but they'll be slightly different. And they're going to launch. The first one is going to be launching in June 2020, so just a few months away. And it's called the Isle of Armor. And it's going to focus on the theme of growth. Your mentor is going to be Mustard, who mentored Leon. And your rival in Sword will be named Clara, and your rival in Shield is going to be Avery. And basically, you're going to be entrusted with this new Pokemon that has 2 different styles of options based on its evolutions. And you're going to be able to see new forms from 3 original starters, your 3 original starters in Sword and Shield. So that's the Isle of Armor. So you're going to be focusing a lot on growth during that DLC. And then in the fall, we're going to get our second part of the pass, which focuses on the area of what's called the Crown of Tundra, and it's focusing on the theme of exploration. And so you're going to have a psychic and grass type legendary there that I have no idea how to pronounce. I think it's like Calyrex, maybe, which is rumored to have ruled over a big chunk of the Galar region originally, and the Crown Tundra will also include a co-op mode, which would be a first, and this allows you to catch a number of previously released and brand new legendaries. And so a lot of legendaries, a lot of exploration, everything happening in the Crown of Tundra, and then on top of all that, 200 well-known Pokemon will be present in the expansion pass. So a lot of people early on were saying, "Why aren't you sticking all the Pokemon that exist into these Sword and Shield games? Why'd you hold back?" They're sticking 200 of those back in the expansion pass, and you can actually bring over Pokemon from previous games that are going to be, so if you have a Pokemon from a previous game that is also going to be in the expansion pass, you can bring it over via the Pokemon Home service that's going to be launching in February. And again, just make sure that they exist in both games. If they don't, you can't bring it over. And also there was a free software update that was that launched just after the Direct, and it allowed you to run into a Gigantamax version of specific Pokemon in max raid battles and in the wild area. And also you could encounter Clara and Avery, they're two rivals in the expansions, and a Galar Slowpoke that's wandered over from the Isle of Armor. So kind of just a little tease before the expansion passes actually come there. So a lot more Pokemon, a lot more stuff to explore. $30 gets you all of that. Greg, is this overwhelming to you? Because that's a lot of game that they already had, and you're basically they're kind of doubling or tripling it depending on how you look at it. So, what's your thoughts about all this?
It's definitely nice, first of all, to see them expanding and giving people what they wanted, like additional Pokemon to collect. So that's major props to them. In terms of me personally buying it, it will just depend on my experience with the game. If I really deep dive and incredibly enjoy it and it's like the best thing ever, then I'll probably look into getting it. But at this point, I can't make say if I'm going to get it or not, since I don't know how my experience will be with the game. So
yeah. As Basement Dweller said, he's really glad that they're going DLC instead of a brand new game, and that's what happens a lot of times. They do bring out like a third edition of the game, and you have to like go through all this other stuff, and they add some extra things. This way, they're just adding this DLC, which is pretty cool, and it's not the full cost of a game again. But yeah, I'm with you, Greg. I think depend on what I think. I think the cool thing is that especially the Crown of Tundra one appeals to me more because I do like the wild area already. That's one of the things that I told Barry was upset with me because I haven't completed the game yet because I keep just lost in the wild area. It's so fun just to wander around and see what Pokemon I find and what are the things that are out there. And so both of these kind of seem like they're additional wild area kind of places that you can go and just kind of wander around. It's more open world. I like the idea of co-op. That kind of sounds really fun to play around with a friend. But yeah, I'll see how I feel about after I complete more of the game, and if I want to pay $30 for these things, or maybe I'll wait it out. We'll see. It's definitely not for me. It's not worth pre-purchasing it just to get an outfit. I'll wait it out a little bit. One of the other things that they showed off at the very beginning of the Direct that I know will make some people excited, and then other people are probably not so excited. I think Hassan is a big fan of the Mystery Dungeon, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games, and we're actually going to be getting a remake of the Game Boy Advance titles, Red Rescue Team and Blue Rescue Team. They're actually going to bring that out in March, so that's just a couple months away. It's be Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. And yeah, it's basically an updated version of those two Game Boy Advance games. A free version, a free version of the demo is going to be offered. It's actually on the eShop right now. So I know you weren't a fan of the original, like the mainline Pokemon games. Did you ever play Mystery Dungeon?
I did not. I actually have not played any of the spin-off games in any way, shape, or form. Like no, like Pokemon Snap or nothing. So Sword is gonna be my first full experience into like anything actual Pokemon. Previous experiences only in Smash Brothers, if that counts for anything.
Sure, it does. Yeah. Yeah, I think I played maybe a demo of one of the Mystery Dungeon games, but I really wasn't into it either. The story is kind of a little kooky because you get like turned into a Pokemon. I think it's cool, kind of cool that you get to play like as a Pokemon through it. You're not playing as the trainer, so it's a little bit different of a storyline and everything. But yeah, I never really got into it. It's interesting to me that they would bring that back instead of releasing a new game. They decided just to update a GBA game. I don't know. I that just sounds interesting to me. Maybe a little weird to me actually. So
I mean, I did read more into it. It did seem like it was gonna be a kind of a fun game, like something more I might actually enjoy. So I'm like, it's actually like a maybe stack for me, like to even pursue it further, especially if there's like a demo.
yeah, and you can bring your save data into the final game, which I'm glad to see more and more games are doing that.
Yep, that's definitely worth it. So you're not replaying the same segments and stuff. So
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, let us know in the comments and chat and everything if you're planning on getting the Pokemon DLC. But that was the first direct type of announcement, and then we got another one that was all focused on Smash Brothers Ultimate. They didn't call it a Smash Brothers Direct. They just called it, what was it? Just a special time with Sakurai or something.
yeah,
It's like Sakurai Presents or something like that. But yeah, on January 16th, we got a surprise, and they finally announced the final character for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the first round of DLC, and that is none other than another Fire Emblem character from Three Houses. And Greg, how do you pronounce it? Is it Byleth?
yeah, it's Byleth. Yeah.
Byleth. So, but yeah, you get both the male and the female version of Byleth. Is that that's something you can do in Three Houses as well? Can you pick the male or female?
Yeah, it's like the avatar character that you get to kind of customize. So
Okay.
it's like kind of design like their face and hairstyle. You can give it whatever name you want. I mean, the default name obviously is Byleth, but it's basically kind of like the avatar character, like similar to Robin and some of the other ones that they've added to already. So
Okay, cool. So one of the cool things that I thought was fun as they were announcing this, it kind of like they were just self aware and even in the little animated thing that they put together, like there's too many sword fighters in there. It's like they just acknowledge that themselves, and they're like, oh, that's why we're giving you all these different weapons. So let's just chat quickly about Byleth and that sort of thing before we jump into any of the other news. What are your thoughts about him and her being in Smash? Were you excited? I know you're a huge Fire Emblem fan, but were you hoping for someone else? Are you excited about Byleth? What's your thoughts?
I was definitely very completely excited for it. My one caveat is I think to avoid some of the backlash, they were better off moving it like further back, like into either like the fourth slot or even into the next pack if possible. But I think more people were expecting a third party character, and by just him kind of capping it off, it got a little bit more hate than probably deserved, I think. But I still think it's gonna be an incredible character. It's gonna be, can't wait to try it out. I'll actually be loading up Smash just to try it out because why not? It's been a character I've been predicting and hoping for, so hoping that they'll play really well. So
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the announcement, I just personally feel like they would have been better if they could fit into the third slot or fourth slot or even into the second pack overall. But
Yeah.
I do understand why he was picked. I know Sakurai loves Fire Emblem. It was definitely bound to happen in one of the two packs. So, and as he explained, like Three Houses is so massive that he could even like really get like a huge story back, like figure them all out and try to see all of his different moves he can implement for him. So,
That's cool.
understanding how he missed the main roster and was added as DLC. So,
Yeah, yeah. I'm with you. I mean, it makes sense. It'd be weird if they, because they've. Is it pretty much how many Fire Emblem characters do we have now? It's like
it's like 7 or 8 or
7 or
somewhere
8.
right.
That's what I was thinking. So, and how many? I should have done some research here. How many Fire Emblem games are there like in recent years? Like, are there 7 or 8 different games? Like every game have representation, or are there still games that we don't have representation from?
Oh, there's definitely games we don't have representation from. So.
Okay.
Let's see. Well, technically, two of the newer ones that they did put in over the last few Smash games were Chrom and Lucina, and they're both from Awakening. So, the Awakening is the only one I think that has two characters overall in it.
Okay.
Well, I think Robin too. So three.
Oh yeah, yeah. Awakening was a big game. I feel like though, like
Yeah, that was like where it really pushed Fire Emblem into like major popularity. I think it was kind of telling someone somewhere, I think probably on like a message board or something for Fire Emblem Heroes, and it was just kind of explaining that Awakening is really what took the series to new heights and brought in all sorts of new fans and players. So I know it was hugely popular in Japan since the NES and the SNES games. And then they introduced us to the Roy and Marth and Melee, and then that kind of got some of the interest over here, and then they eventually moved like the GBA game, Blazing Blade, and also like Radiant Dawn and Path of Radiance over on GameCube and Wii, and then those kind of were somewhat decent, but then it was Awakening on the 3DS that really took off. So
yeah, yeah. I feel like a lot of the people that I knew that I now know that like Fire Emblem got into it from Awakening. And it's actually the one that I've thought about that if I were to try a game, I was like, everybody likes Awakening. Maybe I should try it. But we'll see. Like it's not my kind of thing. But from all the praise that Awakening got, I feel like that could be a game to try out.
yeah, but let's see, Korn was from Fates, so that was the game after Awakening. They didn't do anything for the Echoes one that was like a remaster of the second game.
Okay.
And then they did add now Byleth for Three Houses. So like, what's that? Like 5 of the characters are from the last 3 games.
So I think that's what I was kind of thinking, that it would have been weird if they didn't eventually at some point include a character from Three Houses because of what it seems like they have been doing over the last several years. But yeah, I'm with you. I think it probably would have been better if they pushed it back a little bit. My guess is that probably might have been just the one that was the furthest along, because he probably started working on it before. I think he even said that maybe before Three Houses even came out, he was already working, I think, probably on the character models and all that stuff. So, the other ones probably just aren't far along enough.
Yeah, and it could have been like maybe some rights and issues for other ones that are either upcoming or even ones that have already come out, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Basement Dweller says that Byleth is the most indifferent he's ever been about a character. He got Banjo already, so he didn't expect anything else to wow me as much as he did. And he just pointed out that Mario Odyssey has outsold the entire franchise of Fire Emblem, which is interesting. So, I don't know. That's actually really surprising. I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to look that up. So not only did we get the new character of Byleth, of course, we also got 11 new songs if you got that character, and a new traveling stage that was modeled after Garreg Mach Monastery. Did you like the level itself, the stage?
Yeah, I liked how it was kind of mostly plain and simple and very minimal, kind of like extra, like on the gimmick side. It was, I know you can destroy booths and some other things, but it seemed like it was a mostly flat stage, which is usually what I prefer for Smash, and not
Hmm.
lots of uneven ground or like weird elements like water that can like mess up your movement and stuff. So
Yeah.
I just like the kind of plainness of it, even though it is a moving stage with the just going around to the different locations. So
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think I'm not a huge fan of moving stages, but I feel like I might like this one, and I do like that you can destroy things, and like that's kind of cool. It's a little different because I don't. None of the other stages come to my mind that you. There's not too many. I know there's some, but there's not really too many that have things that you can destroy, and so that was kind of cool to bring in that stuff as well. So. Of course, we also got spirit boards and classic mode update to be based on Fire Emblem, and then on top of that, we got some new me costumes. We have one that was inspired after. I'm gonna save my favorite to the last. Some Mega Man X ones and Mega Man Battle Network costumes. One that's based on Altair from Assassin's Creed. A Rabbids costume, and then my favorite is Cuphead. So you can actually dress as Cuphead, a me Cuphead, and that actually comes with a new music track called Floral Fury from the game. From my favorite point of view, and actually I think Basement Dollars is in the chat as well, and we got several people in our Discord talking about it. That Cuphead was their favorite part of this whole entire announcement. They liked Cuphead better than Byleth. So what do you got to say about that, Greg? As a big Fire Emblem fan, did you like Cuphead?
I mean, I did like Cuphead, and I really was looking forward to that costume, and I really think a lot more of those costumes should have like the music track. That
Hmm.
was definitely a huge incentive to get that one, especially. But I mean, overall, I mean, I could say the same thing for like the Banjo one. I mean, I never played Banjo's games, and the costumes almost sounded better to me overall, and like especially even Fatal Fury. I never played that series either, so it was like Terry. I mean, who's Terry?
Yeah, yeah. I think Cuphead will probably be the only me costume that I've bought. It will be my first because the other ones I'm like they're cool, but they're just costumes. This one kind of it sets it apart. It's not. It's more of a costume too. It like changes the look of your me. You actually look like Cuphead instead of just having like a hoodie on that looks like Sonic. You actually look like the Cuphead character, which is fun. Are you? I know you're a big Mega Man fan. Do you like the Mega Man me costumes? Will it be enough for you to get them, or just having Mega Man in the game is that good enough for you?
I mean, I don't really use like the Mii's as a whole lot. I mean, for Wii U and 3DS, I was buying the costumes and stuff, but I never really even played around with them. So, I mean, I might get X just because I really did like Mega Man X. I never really played the EXE game, so I'm probably not going to get that one.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was probably going to see what kind of costumes are available from the previous ones because I haven't even bought any of those either. But I definitely want to buy Cuphead just for the track at least
Yeah, yeah, it's true because you
and
can.
support that decision.
Mm-hmm. I still love it. I need to do it more. But just turn Smash Brothers on and just listen to the music. I keep forgetting that that's a feature. So just to have a Cuphead song in there is pretty cool. All right, so wrapping up the Smash Brothers announcement, we got word that two more amiibo were available, and they were available on January 17th. We can now get Dark Samus and Simon Belmont. Hey, look at that! This is my article, and I just now realized that I forgot the T at the end of Belmont. Typo. But anyhow, you can. What's that?
I believe it was actually Richter Belmont.
Was it Richter? Oh, I think it actually is because Simon's already available. So that's
Yeah.
two typos and one name. Wow, someone needs to edit these things. Wait, that's me. I edit my own stuff. I forgot. So anyhow, so other than the amiibo, we also got word that there's going to be we already knew that there was going to be a Fighter Pass Volume 2, but now we know that it will not only contain 5 like the last pass, but it's actually going to contain 6 characters. and you can pre-purchase the entire pack on January 28th, so just a few days away from today, for $29.99 in the U.S. That is, I believe, $5 more than the pack one, but it does include one more character, so that kind of makes sense, I guess, for that. And if you do pre-purchase it, that you can get a Mii sword fighter costume of the Agent Soldier gear from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild if you do the pre-purchasing. So, Greg, what do you think of the amiibo and the news about the next Fighter Pass?
Well, both amiibo are back behind me, and the stack of amiibos back there. So those have already been picked up and acquired, and let's see. So I'm probably definitely gonna be pre-purchasing the pack, even though not really playing Smash Brothers. I really like just the character, like just having the characters, and I know if there's a day where I play more with like friends or family, then I'll have all the characters available. So
Yeah, same here. Like I got all the previous ones. I don't use all the extra characters, but it's fun to have them. I think that was my first objective. I still haven't beat all the classic stuff, and there's a bunch of stuff still to go through for me, and all the single player and everything in the game. My first objective was I need to unlock every character like right away, and that's pretty much what I did. Like the first like week or so of having the game was just go through and unlock every character, and then brought friends over and said, hey, let's play Smash. I've got all the characters unlocked. So that's just fun, and it's just cool to have them all, even if I don't use them all. So I always will try them, of course, but there hasn't been any of the DLC characters that I have kind of gravitated toward yet that I keep using, going back over and over and over again. I do like the idea of Byleth, though. Like, I think having the different weapons, I think is interesting. Have an axe and an arrow, the bow and arrow, and everything. I think that's interesting. But yeah, I'm excited to see what this next batch of characters are going to bring. I'm still holding off for my prediction that I shared last time. Let's bring some Master Chief. I'm not even a huge fan of Halo. I just think that'd be crazy to have Master Chief in Smash Brothers.
I know that's what I was going at too. I mean, I don't never purchased a single Halo game, but I still think that would be incredible, especially since I'm playing super nice at Microsoft. So
right. So yeah, and I'll probably pre-purchase it too. Why not? I mean, again, like, unlike the Pokemon stuff, it'll make you get a costume, basically, right, for pre-purchasing it. I don't care about the costume in Pokemon, but it was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to buy it anyway. Might as well pre-purchase it and get the free costume for Smash. Probably won't even use the Mii costume, but maybe nice to have. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of indifferent, just like a Zelda outfit, but it does look pretty cool. I mean, I do like Zelda, so I might actually end up trying to actually use it, but
yeah,
I'm not buying it just to get it. I'm buying it because I like the character. I like the idea of them adding more characters in and supporting that decision. So.
Yeah. Chat saying that they're surprised that they didn't reveal the first character of the next Fighter Pass. I'm not. I don't know about you, Greg, but I was not surprised that they didn't reveal that character. I think they're holding out. Since then, we've seen that Nintendo has announced that they have a lot of games to announce this entire year of 2020. I think they're going to spread this thing out. I think holding back on the fifth character kind of just told me how they're going to approach this moving forward. They're going to hold back as long as they want to, and they're going to announce it whenever they want to. Sakurai can do pretty much whatever he wants nowadays, and we still clamor after his game and after all the DLC he's going to produce for us. So I wasn't surprised. Were you surprised?
I was not expecting a second one for the second pack, even though they'd already kind of mentioned there was going to be a second pack, but I was not expecting them to kick it off with like a fighter. And the main caveat is we're due for whatever that February Direct, and I think that's where we might actually get the first trailer of that character. Obviously not the deep dive, because it's probably not launching until, I don't know, May or something like that, but I definitely think that it was intentional not to show it at that event when there wasn't really any need to.
Yeah. That's interesting you brought that up because they didn't announce when they're going to start releasing these characters, did they? For the second pack.
No, I mean, obviously it's definitely still a continuation, so I imagine they've already been like kind of like briefly added into his demo version that he has, that he tweaks them and modifies them. So
Sure, sure. So 6 more characters. Even if they release them, what, like every 3 or 4 months? That means we have at least like probably 2 years of characters still. They're gonna continue to be like stretching this game out. We're gonna still be talking about DLC characters a year from now at least, if not a year and 6 months or so from now, that they're still going to be supporting Smash. I would assume they're going to stretch it out like that, like they did for the first pack. Maybe they'll release them more often. I don't know, but my guess is they'll probably take 2 or 3 months between each one. So that's a lot more support over the next couple of years.
yeah, I think that's been just about what they've been doing, outside the E3 where they did two of them. But I mean, it could be this year at E3 that we'll get two more. So
Yeah, that's true.
but I definitely think we'll see at least one before E3 being added in, and the trailer's either going to be in this direct, or if there's like a March or April direct, it would be in that one. But
Yeah. Interesting. Well, that was the Smash Brothers Ultimate News. Again, both of that information is on NintendoFuse.com. I'll go check my and correct my typos a little later on the Smash stuff, on the Amiibo things. But yeah, if you want to really read more or even watch both of those presentations, just head to NintendoFuse.com. But let's talk about some rumors, because there's a few rumors. Now, we talked about a couple episodes ago, maybe even last episode, that there's going to be some more remakes coming, some games from the Wii U that are probably be ported over, and all that sort of thing. But I don't know if this was on anybody's radar at all. But it looks like that I got this article from Digital Trends, but I know that they followed a Nintendo leaker named Sabi, or Sabi, I'm not sure how he pronounces that, but he can be found on Twitter at new_wabi sabi. And yeah, it looks like he's looked into some different things and finds it reliable enough to complete to basically say that we are actually going to get a new Paper Mario game and a new Metroid game that probably is, at least looks like people are saying it's a new Metroid Fusion sequel. And so Metroid Fusion sequel and a new Paper Mario game coming in 2020. And yeah, it looks like Sabi actually later tweeted that it's going to be a 2D game related to Metroid Fusion. And so Metroid Fusion sequel and Paper Mario coming in 2020 to Switch. What do you think about this, Greg? Do you think it's actually going to happen? Have you looked into it? Like, it seems like this guy should be. It seems pretty legit, but I don't know. What do you think?
yeah, I think I've heard that he has somewhat of a good track record right now, and at least one of the people that have been releasing these type of rumors and leaks and stuff. So I think he was also the one that was issued like the cease and desist around E3 as well. So
Yeah.
I think I got that from the Game Explained discussion. So yeah, I definitely down for both games, but I wasn't about to predict any of that stuff for this year. So I mean, I'd imagine Paper Mario they've been kind of just still working on since, I mean, Color Splash was still quite a while ago, so it almost seems kind of fitting that the next one's on the way, especially with like Alpha Dream not really continuing the Mario and Luigi stuff anymore. So
Yeah. I think that's interesting, especially, I mean, it's not right on the heels of that news, but that's interesting I wonder if we do get into Paper Mario, if it's going to kind of go back into that RPG, like their roots, and kind of, instead of the 2D stuff like Super Paper Mario and the other things they've tried to experiment with, if they go back and maybe they'll use the Paper Mario to go back and do that RPG stuff with Mario again.
Yeah, I'm thinking that they were going to. I mean, that's also, I think, what he also kind of implied, I think, with like his
Mm,
leak. I thought it was going to be like a return to form type of Paper Mario game. So, meaning it would be like just along the veins of the N64 one or Thousand Year Old Door.
mm-hmm.
So, that would definitely be welcome, especially since Mario and Luigi is probably not going to be continuing onward unless a different developer picks that up.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be nice to have an actual Mario RPG series again and
Mm-hmm.
not some sort of gimmicky like cards, stickers, and
Right.
garbage. So
Yeah. I've never played any of the Mario RPG games. I think I have one of the downloadable versions, either on 3DS or something like that. I think of the original Super Mario RPG. I think when they stuck it on the eShop or whatever. But yeah, I've never actually played it. I still want to, but yeah. Again, I'll go ahead and I'll take Barry's spot. Too many games, not enough time. But yeah, I haven't played it yet. But I know, I mean, huge fans, right? And that's why people want some of those characters to show up in Smash because because of that game. Which is it's I'm blanking on the name. Who's the
Gino,
yeah Gino?
well,
It's like it
Gino's
starts
from,
with the
from
G.
Mario. Yeah, he's from Mario RPG, which was kind of the inspiration for the Paper Mario series. So
Right. But yeah, another 2D Metroid. Would you be a big fan? I mean,
yep,
Metroidvania. There you go. Like this is
yeah, I
this
mean,
is your bread and butter, right?
it sure is. Yeah, I do love the Metroid series. I've beaten just about all the main games outside of like Federation Force and whatever that awful Wii title was.
Other
Other M.
M. I actually liked Other M. I thought it was an interesting idea. Like it wasn't like game of the year kind of thing, but I did enjoy it though.
But I did play and enjoy and beat like the classic three, the Game Boy, the NES, and Super Metroid, and did play all the three of the Prime games and beat all three of them. So definitely looking forward to another Metroid game.
Nice.
Uh, Samus Returns was excellent. So
Hmm.
I actually did beat Fusion, I think, on the 3DS Virtual Console. I think it was.
Hmm.
But yeah, I would be definitely welcome to them to continue that if that's where they're going. I mean, that was a pretty fun game. It wasn't quite as open worldly and exploring as the other Metroid games. It was a lot more, I guess, Zelda-like, where it was like, oh, go here, do this. Oh, go now. You go here, do this, and go here and do that. It wasn't as much as finding your way and doing whatever you wanted to. It was kind of removed that freedom element and
Hmm.
fusion.
It was
So
more linear that time.
yeah,
Okay.
yep.
Is
That's the only
that
yeah only
so?
Metroid games.
Which was Fusion the one that was basically a remake? There was because they released one that was essentially a remake of was it of
I
Metroid 2 maybe. I can't remember which one it
well yeah,
was.
Metroid 2 did get the remake in that Samus Returns, but I think there was a different game.
Yeah.
I think that was the Zero Suit Samus one.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I I didn't play that one, and I think that was the remake of the first game.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Fusion was like one where you kind of like got like this X virus and like you had to like try to figure out how to treat it. It was like kind of like eating you alive and kind of thing, and you couldn't get rid of it or something.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I haven't played too many of the Metroid games. I played, I think all three of the Prime games. I think I may not have played. No, I think I played all three of them. I wasn't a big fan of the very first one. Still am not. It's too. It's a little too. I don't know something. Some word that I can't think of. I really like Super Metroid though. Like of all of them, Super Metroid is still my favorite. But I didn't get into Fusion. I didn't get Samus Returns. I really wanted to, and then life happened, and I kind of forgot about it. But if you can make a game that's like very similar, and I know people have been clamoring for that for years, right? Like a game that's
Yeah, like,
similar to Super Metroid but updated.
yeah, it really like the 2D Metroid games, and they weren't sure if they'd ever come back because Prime has been so successful and even demanded. So I think Samus Returns kind of proved that there is space to have 2D and 3D Metroid games. So
Yeah, for sure. Basement Dwellers said that Other M was underrated, so they're with me. But it doesn't fit with the rest of the series. Yeah, very similar. Federation Force would have unironically been amazing on Switch, but it was a fantastic multiplayer game that was dead on arrival. So yeah, that'd be interesting to see. Maybe things like that will get announced at E3. Would probably be the big one. I don't know. Do you expect them to announce something like a new Paper Mario or Metroid 2D Metroid in a January or February, most likely February at this point, Direct, or would they hold that off to E3?
I could see Paper Mario being squeezed in for some reason, but I think Metroid is one of those ones where they'd really get like a huge bang, like kind of celebration announcement of it. Like, oh, by the way, like we're working on a Metroid game to hold you over before 4 hits, and like, oh, and it's available in October or something. But like Paper Mario is definitely a game where they can like, oh, here's footage of an upcoming Paper Mario game, and then it still could come out in November or whatever, but people won't be like, oh yeah, it has to come out like in May or something. But it could be like one of those like Yoshi Woolly. I was kind of comparing it more to like Yoshi's Woolly World that got like that early reveal, but then it's kind of like then held along for a while, and then they just show more and more as the time goes on.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm with you. Yeah, if they're going to show off one, I would see maybe Paper Mario. Metroid does seem like a cool thing to announce, especially if they got more information about Prime 4 on at E3. They'd be like, this is coming like 2021. We'll give you a little more information about it, but then to hold you over, we've got a 2D game for you ready to go. It's going to be ready to play in September or something. And I could definitely see him doing something like that. And hopefully they give you the Prime Trilogy while you wait too.
Yeah, that's fine. They really need that.
For sure. All right, so enough with rumors. Now we go even further. Things that might happen. They may happen. Who knows? Because that's how patents roll. Nintendo has recently, I guess, filed a patent. Nintendo Everything has covered this, and it's for a Switch Joy-Con touch pin attachment. So if you're watching right now, you can see it on the screen, and it looks like it's basically a rail sort of wrist adapter thing, a wrist strap that you can put on your Joy-Con. But at the very tip, it has a little nub. Basically, kind of a what they're calling it, a touch pin, and so. Yeah, I guess it was spotted on Silicon Era, published this past week, and I guess it's going to be used for the touch screen. It's supposed to vibrate in response to an object being touched on the screen, kind of a stylus sort of thing. So, for Barry and other people that were upset that we didn't get our special stylus for Mario Maker 2, you can now apparently, or not now, but eventually, you just attach this to your Joy-Con, and then you got a stylus built in, I guess, that has some sort of HD rumble responding to things that you touch on the screen. So it's incorporated into the Joy-Con, and so yeah, I don't know much beyond this. Again, it's a patent, so I mean, Nintendo, as well as like so many other companies, like will file tons of patents. A lot of things never come into fruition, like they never actually make them, but they just kind of, here's an idea we have, let's file a patent for it just in case we do make it. So, Greg, what do you think about this, and do you actually think it's going to see the light of day?
Well, I definitely would like it. I was definitely one that was kind of pushing to have a stylus, especially for Mario Maker, his primary example there. But it certainly seems to me like they could definitely do, like, add it. Like, this definitely seems like one of those things that actually might turn into something. But I don't know when, or could be at like E3, I guess, or could be like 2 weeks away. I don't know, but
yeah,
I definitely think like a stylus would be very much appreciated, even if it does rumble and whatnot. But
yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, I don't know how weird it'd be to like hold it with the Joy-Con. Like, I mean, I'd almost rather them, and maybe they'll do both. I don't know if they'll like release a separate stylus touch pen that you can use that may be more expensive because it has that stuff built into it. But if you want an actual pen experience, then buy that. But if you want the same kind of experience but don't want to pay as much, buy this one that just slaps on your Joy-Con, uses the built-in technology in the Joy-Con instead of building it into the pen itself. Because I think it'd be really weird to hold and use, but I don't know. Because I can't see myself like writing with it. It'd be more like touching things on the screen for like, I don't know. I can't see like an adult purpose for having this. I mean, like a kid's game would be kind of cool. Like pick the right box or pick the right thing on the screen. Find like a, one of those, what's it? It's like find the hidden images or something like that. That'd be kind of cool. But to Mario Maker, I want like an actual like stylus that I can hold like a pen, draw on the screen sort of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's something that like would be pulled out of the Joy-Con or if it's just something that would like stays with the Joy-Con. I don't know, but because as you said, it would be a lot more awkward if it's this big bulky thing to hold as like a pen as opposed to like an actual stylus.
Mm-hmm.
It actually like comes out and it's just kind of really tiny and you can poke around with it. But
yeah. It is kind of cool, like looking at the patent a little more. It will incorporate the button presses on the Joy-Cons. So if you are drawing on the screen, hold down a certain button to get a thicker line, for instance. Hold down another button to go for thin lines. Maybe you can change your colors, change between a pen and an eraser or something like that between button presses. So that's kind of cool, I guess. But I still, yeah, I'm with you. Like it could be kind of awkward to hold it attached to the Joy-Con. I couldn't see myself using it a ton. But
yeah, I mean it depends. I don't know how well it would be for like the artists out there. I know that there's people that like to really make impressive drawings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like the Wii and Wii U. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely interesting. I mean, we've seen weirder things come from Nintendo patents, so this is definitely not the weirdest.
Definitely like the vitality sensor.
Right. I'm still holding out. At one point, it's gonna come. I don't know. I have no idea why, and nor do I really want it. I just like it's just one of those things that's kind of got lost in the ether of Nintendo ideas that once were. But yeah, I'm still staring at the images that they put out. I'm like, that's so interesting. Do you remember did you ever use the built-in little nub on the DS when it had the wrist strap like attached to the original DS and it had like a little nub that you're supposed to put around your thumb and use it for 3D games? Did you ever use that?
No.
Do you remember it?
Not at all. Like I had the original DS, and
Did you not attach your wrist strap and your thumb strap on there? You just tossed it with the box.
probably.
Probably. Yeah, I think the only reason I remember it is because I did. That was one of the first systems that I remember like doing a lot of research beforehand and being really, really, really excited about. And so I knew everything about it beforehand, so I attached it. And it was the most awkward thing. So you didn't miss out on anything. but officially, yeah, it was like a little. So it was just like the Wii wrist straps and stuff like that. The Wii remote wrist straps, but it's attached to the back of the DS, and it had a little slider that just like you tighten it down on your wrist, but you tighten it down on your thumb. And it had this little plastic thing that went on the tip of your thumb. I guess you could put it on your finger as well. But the idea was just like in Super Mario 64 on the 64, you have the analog stick to control the camera and run around depending on what you want to do. How you held the controller. That was the same sort of deal. Like you could be able to control the camera or run around with your thumb on the screen using the little nub. It wasn't good. It was interesting, but it wasn't good. Yeah. So They, of course, took it away for all the subsequent versions of the DS and the 3DS. They never brought that back.
I mean, was it like intended for what are the Legend of Zelda? What was that game? Not Spirit
Oh,
Tracks.
the all the yeah, no, because those games they encouraged you to use the stylus on those. It was basically a replacement for the analog stick, essentially, because they didn't build an analog stick to the original DS, and so yeah, that was how they marketed it. As stick this little nub on your thumb and use the touchscreen like an analog stick. So
Yeah, glad I didn't miss much with that. So.
no, but I'm hoping that this is not like that, because it like, oh look, I can touch the screen with the thing instead of my finger. Like, what's the difference? But if it does incorporate the vibrations and you can use the buttons and the Joy-Cons, I could see that possibly working. I'd almost see this as like kind of a tie-in to a game, like a little gimmick for a drawing game, maybe a compilation sort of thing that they incorporate drawing, find the hidden object, and maybe a couple other things, and they throw this in the box with it, and they have fun. Probably mostly meant for kids.
Yeah, maybe no. It could be the Mario Paint 2 or something.
Right, that's true. Maybe that's where it's going. So, who knows? Who knows? Well, that's pretty much it for big news and announcements and everything this time on the podcast. Nintendo's got a bunch of their stuff, like we said earlier. They said they're going to be announcing a bunch of games this year. They've got plenty of news to keep releasing throughout the whole year. I got an email, I think earlier today, a press release from Nintendo America saying that they won their repeal or something on the court case that I guess someone, I forget the name of the company, doesn't matter now because Nintendo won, that was suing them for some technology in the Wii remote, and I guess Nintendo originally lost, but they appealed it and they won in the appeal. So it was like $10 million or something like that. But yeah, so that was kind of cool. That's pretty much it. Like, anything else that kind of has been sticking out to you, Greg, that we haven't talked about, that kind of in the world of Nintendo or anything else recently?
Yeah, there was one, I guess, smaller piece that was kind of hot off the presses. For Fire Emblem Heroes, the Choose Your Legends Round 4 just kicked off tonight. So you can pick your favorite 7 characters, or you get 1 vote a day for the next 7 days starting today. And you get to try to nominate the characters that'll be added into the game in August as like a superpower unit. So go ahead and vote. You don't even need to play Fire Emblem games to vote. You can just find like their little site for Choose Your Legends Round 4.
Oh, you don't even have to go to the game to vote.
Yeah, no. Huh. They haven't made a little site for it, and you get to pick the game or try to search by character. It's always very clunky the way they do these things, but
interesting. Well,
you can
maybe
vote Pilot, get a Brave edition.
Is there anything bad I can vote for to mess up all the people that do play?
Well, it probably won't get very many votes.
That's true. It's true, unless I get a bunch of people. Everybody out there going, no.
Vote for the Renegade Boss. He doesn't have a name.
All right, there we go. Vote for Renegade Boss for the win. I don't know anything about this game. I did have. I think I played the very first like 5 minutes or something like that of the game, and then I deleted it because But I did download it. I'm pretty sure. But that's cool. I'm glad that they're announcing things and not going through, the Faye updates, because that's the worst. Like,
I was almost expecting a Faye channel like any day now for the 4th or 3rd anniversary on like February 2nd. So I'm sure this will be a fate channel like in this next week.
That voice is so annoying. Yeah, and oh man, I was you mentioned that, yeah, with Fire Emblem Heroes and stuff. But the mobile games, I feel like I saw something. Are you playing Mario Kart Tour at all anymore?
No, I pretty much stopped after
Yeah,
like
I
the first couple or whatever.
I think I played like 2 or 3 times in the last couple months. Like I basically fire it up, see what's on there every once in a while, and then I'll stop it again. But I feel like something's going on there. I think with a winter um, thing at tournament or something like that. I don't know. So if you're playing Fire Emblem, or if you're playing Fire Emblem, go play Fire Emblem. But if you're if you're playing Mario Kart Tour, check it out. There may be something cool in there. I don't know. But really, just go play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because it's so much better. It's a real Mario Kart game. All right, so yeah, anything big coming out over the next couple weeks that you're excited about, Greg? Anything that you're planning on playing that maybe just even notable to you, or maybe that other people should be looking out for over the next couple weeks until the next podcast?
Well, I'm about to take a very quick glance, but I know at least me personally, I'll be still trying to catch up on those Christmas games. But yeah, I'm sure there's probably something noteworthy of games coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I only got it to load. I think there was one that I had heard about, and I'm just trying to see if I can find it really quick.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
there's like we have a
it
lot
does
of games this year that are just still labeled as 2020. Like we still don't know when they're coming out. Just sometime this year.
Yeah, I think I take that back. I can't find nothing that's coming out before the next podcast, so don't think that there is one coming out.
Yeah, there's really not. I mean, looking through the list really quick, there's not a whole lot really big coming out. Um, those fans of Shinobi from the original Sega, that we have a Sega Ages version of Shinobi's coming out. Let's see, that's about it for a while. Super Tennis is Horse Farm. Horse Farm's coming out on the 29th. That's totally right up your alley, right, Greg?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, Horse Farm. Speaking Simulator comes out on January 30th, and it's on sale, $2 off. You can get it for $18. Speaking Simulator. Sometimes I don't understand these simulators, but one game that I'll be I actually got a review copy of it. I think Barry and I are going to be reviewing it because it's a multiplayer game. It's called Hypercharge Unboxed. So it's actually been out, I think, on Steam and maybe other systems as well, but it's coming out on the Switch on the 31st of January. And we actually have an interview with some of the developers and the publishers and everything of the game on NintendoFuse.com. So if you haven't checked that out, just head over there and search for Hypercharge, and you'll see that. But yeah, so I think Barry and I think are going to be playing through that and probably do a game chat on that eventually. But yeah, there's really not a whole lot. Even like the retail copies that Barry ends up buying, I think he's going to get 3 games. I think Monster Energy Supercross 3, Snack World, and Code Realize Guardian of Rebirth. I think are the only physical copies that are coming out in the next couple weeks. So he's not even going to be getting very many games.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got plenty to play too, though. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. So that's pretty much it for episode 190. It's crazy. We're creeping up on 200. We're gonna be there before you know it. But thanks so much for joining in. We're going to be back on February 4th, most likely at our regular time on Tuesdays. Sorry for those of you guys that missed out tonight because we had to push it back. But yeah, February 4th, we should be back at our regular time. What is that? It's 8:30 Eastern time. Is that correct? I'm still thinking Mountain time for me. So 8:30 Eastern time, 5:30 Pacific. So you guys can figure out everything in between, and we'd love to have you join us live. If you can't, that's okay. You can listen after the fact and watch after the fact. And but if you do listen live, you do watch live, we'd love to have you guys join the chat. Just join in the conversation that we're able to have all about this game, the game news, and everything else. We just love interacting with you guys. So, but yeah, if you can, join us live on YouTube. That'd be great. But thanks for joining in. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for hitting that bell on YouTube to be alerted about every new video we post. Thanks for sharing this with your friends that also enjoy Nintendo. And we'll be back again, like I said, February 4th with our next episode. Greg, thanks for joining me, man.
All right, no problem. It was great to be on.
Yeah, always great to talk games with you guys. And we'll see you next time.
See you later.